What up everybody, welcome back to my channel. You know, the first video got a pretty decent response and you've all been very supportive, and that motivates me to make more videos. And I've already gone through the commentary journey of, you know what, I don't want to make drama videos on my channel, and then like the very second video is a video on Colleen Ballinger. We're gonna get back to the funnies with another Monster House episode. If you haven't seen the first video, check it out. I'll link it in the description. If you don't want to do all that, I'll give you a quick rundown of how the show works. Homeowners, usually a couple, agree to give up their home for a mystery makeover. They have no idea what's gonna happen to their home, but they do get to pick the theme.
My favorite areas are always like the tropical belts. So we really want to have our home feel like a vacation.
This week's theme is tropical. I mean, what comes to your mind when you hear the word tropical? The beach? A sunset? Relaxation? Palm trees? Wrong. I'm sorry, did you forget what show you were watching? This is Monster House, and you're about to watch these people misinterpret the word tropical in the worst ways imaginable. So, buckle up and saddle down, cowboy. I'm sorry, I'm workshopping catchphrases. Too soon, I got it. Once the theme is picked, a design team comes in to design a few projects based around that theme, and then a building crew is called in to build those projects. Here's the kicker though, the crew only has 5 days to build all of the projects, to do all of the work. Why is there a time limit on this home makeover? Because fuck the homeowners, that's why.
They'll have to complete the entire remodel in only 5 days. If successful, they'll each receive tools worth over $3,000.
And if they don't finish, well, then they get nothing. Except maybe a disapproving look from Steve that says, "I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed." The show is hosted by Steve, our very charismatic, manly man who is there to be the man on set to let everybody know that you know, he's a tough guy. So basically, this home improvement show is a timed competition, but it still is a home makeover, but the whole thing is a game show, kind of. Look, the show doesn't know what it is, and neither do we. It's just pure early 2000s reality TV chaos, and it is hard to look away from. The design phase begins.
Tyler and Emily want a tropical theme, but I'm thinking tropical to the extreme.
Yeah, I don't know, Steve. I don't know if extreme is the vibe they were going for when they suggested tropical.
We really want to have our home feel like a vacation.
What extreme thoughts were provoked in your head when you heard the word tropical?
One image that I'm having is just a huge tiki god head, just something massive.
Yeah, this is gonna be tragic.
I want it to breathe fire.
Ooh, and it got worse. Steve's need for this thing to spit fire is going to become an obsession.
Super hot fire. I spit that.
In the tropics, it rains every day. How can we get rain and moisture into the house?
What? We don't bring rain and moisture into the house. That's why we invented houses.
Well, let's get rid of the concrete. Yeah. The pool's just...
Let's get rid of the concrete. Whoa, hold up. Don't just cruise past that. What do you mean get rid of the concrete? The build crew only has 5 days to complete everything. And this man is trying to change the topography of the backyard.
If they could have a rainstorm whenever they wanted it.
Like a supercharged monster visiting system.
I don't want to speak for the homeowners, but I can't imagine that they pictured a perpetual monsoon for their backyard.
We really want to have our home feel like a vacation.
Okay, so the final projects are a tiki god fireplace, rock-covered rainfall shower, kitchen pass-through bar, and aquarium. Imagine asking for a kitchen remodel and instead being handed the responsibility of having to keep exotic fish alive. There's also a hibachi bar dining table, which that one sounds kind of cool, and a ton of projects planned for the backyard, including a shipwreck in the pool. Say, you know what would really spice up our summer? If we took away most of the swimming area from the pool by throwing half of a rusty boat into it. Because you can't spell summer without tetanus. Now it's time to meet the crew that's going to take on this insanity. There's Thomas, who's going to speak a total of 5 words throughout this entire episode. We love a man of mystery. Michael with the most quintessential early 2000s sunglasses ever. Did you get that from the Burger King kids meal when Wild Wild West was out in theaters? Let me have them. There's Scott, who will be the absolute MVP of this crew. Kim, who will slowly realize throughout this episode that she's made a huge mistake coming here. And finally, Roy, who was also on the design crew. So maybe that will serve as an advantage. It doesn't. Hey, camera guy, why did you have them walking directly into the sun? I mean, I get it, for lighting purposes, you want their faces well lit, but when they're walking directly with the sun in their eyes, they just end up squinting, and it's not a very flattering shot. Keep walking. I can't see where I'm going. Keep coming and stop. You got it? Yep. Do I look cool? Yep. Nice. Steve shows up with 12 tons of concrete first thing in the morning on day 1. Yeah, we're not messing around anymore. We showed investors the pilot episode, and for some reason, they gave us money and told us we could keep making these. So, buckle up and saddle down, cowboy. Or cowgirl. Or cow them. We're inclusive here.
We have Emily and Tyler. They're getting married. We're going to give them a tropical themed paradise honeymoon home. This is Castaway times 10.
Castaway was a tragedy about a man clinging to his humanity as he's forced to do traumatic things in the name of survival. Steve, the theme is tropical. How did we get from tropical to Castaway times 10? Steve is like the evil genie that grants your wish but finds a loophole in it to still turn it into a bad wish somehow. Here is your cloud-themed room filled with cotton candy and plushy bean bags and soft seats. Wow, that's so cool. Look at all the bright colors. Everything looks so fun. Oh my god. Oh my god, it feels like there's needles in my lungs. Oh my god, what's going on? Everything in the room is made of asbestos.
And I want them to feel like they're stranded on a deserted island every time they're in their house.
Why though? Someone should have called the police at this point. I feel like this is officially escalated to a see something, say something situation.
I want these guys to be able to flip a switch and have just as much rain as they would have in the middle of a monsoon.
Wow, didn't know there was a thunderstorm in the forecast today. There wasn't. The neighbors are just having another get-together. Lucky bastards. I sure wish I could bring rain and moisture into my house.
Roy worries if this monster is too big to tackle.
From where we're sitting, it looks completely undoable.
Yeah, that's a pretty reasonable reaction. Only one thing, Roy. You helped design all of this. I think he's just hearing his words said back to him and just going, oh yeah, that does sound absolutely insane, doesn't it? Remember when I said Steve is going to get absolutely fixated on getting this tiki head to spit fire? Yeah, that starts now. Steve wants to see a ball of flame shooting out from the fireplace. Luckily for us, that's not even possible.
You're not going to have the pressure. Standard gas line pressure is going to be maximum 15 psi.
Unluckily for the homeowners, Steve is going to MacGyver his way to a dangerous workaround.
Why can't we just let a certain amount of, propane?
You can't just add extra gas to an existing fire without the possibility of it exploding.
The solution they came up with is to add an additional propane tank and put it inside the fireplace, next to the fire.
The match, it goes exactly what we want. Like a grill, you can turn it on and turn it off, and the gas is there in the little coil.
Hey, why haven't we called the police yet? Who was in charge of that? Who did we put in charge of that? Because I am seeing something, and I would like to say something. The team is really feeling themselves on day 1 and feel like they got enough done, so they decide to leave early.
With only half the framing done, they decide to call it quits.
Timing is everything on this show. That's the whole strategy. So leaving early on any given day is an extremely bold move. Let's see if it comes back to haunt them.
Last night's decision to knock off early is already looking like a mistake.
Turns out it came back to haunt them immediately. The tiki head is going to be built out of chicken wire, which is then going to be sprayed with industrial foam. The guy that sprays the foam is arriving in 45 minutes. But before the guy shows up, they still need to finish the wooden framing, the electrical work, and then they have to shape the tiki head out of chicken wire, which hasn't even been started yet. The chicken wire actually doesn't look that bad. But this is what it looks like after the foam. This is what it is now. This is what you and your guests are gonna have to try and ignore at every dinner party. Dinner was delicious. Thanks. So you guys enjoying the new renovations? Shut the fuck up, Gary. Okie doke.
I have a scary feeling today coming home. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's your property value senses tingling, Emily. You should be worried. The one sound investment you've made in your young life is being obliterated right now. Day 3 begins, and Steve's tiki obsession is becoming a little concerning.
I need something to test this thing with. That's all I care about right now.
Now he wants to add a fog machine into the fireplace, because fuck it. Just put as many electronics and fire hazards next to the fire and as close to the fire as possible. Because remember, the theme is tropical, which, as we all know, in Latin translates to you could die in a fire at any time. Right when the team starts hitting their stride on day 3, Monster House claims its first victim.
I was nailing a block in the bathroom, shot a 16 penny, 3 1/4 inch long nail through my finger. The gun double shot on me. It's no big deal. Welcome to Monster House.
Hey, thanks for blurring out the injury. I appreciate the foresight of not showing something horrifically graphic on camera. Maybe they didn't give a shit about the injury, but the guy's fingernail was so gross that the editors were like, yeah, we can't show that. That's crossing the line. Okay, kids could be watching this.
Michael has decided to add a terrarium wall to the entrance.
Now they're adding a terrarium, because why not? We already gave them exotic fish to have to take care of. Let's add bugs and lizards to that list. Let's complete the ecosystem. It's tropical. And again, Roy comes in with the logic.
The wall is less than 5 inches wide. Roy has his doubts.
Wow, that's a narrow terrarium, huh?
And Michael's just like, eh.
It's 5.5 inches wide? What are we gonna put in it?
Cockroaches.
If you look up the definition of not my fucking job in the dictionary, you'll see Michael's photo right next to it. Before they cap off day 3, they decide to get the water running in the tropical shower, and the results are gonna shock you. Do you like getting peed on? I hope so, because that's what it's gonna feel like every time you take a shower now. Just gently getting peed on by the weight of all of the poor decisions that have led you to this moment in life.
Actually, it looks pretty cool, though. It's just kind of like a little rain.
It's like a rain,
It's like a little rain.
Yeah, it's like a gentle rain. That's how we'll sell this. Because we certainly don't have time to fix it. This is not the result of haphazard build quality. No, this is totally intentional and exactly as planned. Emily decides to invite some family over to witness the shit show, and the funniest interaction of the episode takes place.
We're ready for the open house party. You guys are going to be here? Oh, I hope so. I definitely want to be here when the walkthrough happens.
Yeah, I definitely want to be there for the reveal. I cannot wait to see the look on your face. Oh my god, this is going to be so good. Is it going to be bad? It's going to be something. Mom, make sure you got that camera charged, because you're not going to want to miss this moment. We are halfway through day 4, 1.5 days left, and they're just now getting to the boat and the backyard projects.
We're gonna cut this thing right down the center.
Has anybody measured the pool and how much room we actually have for this thing?
Measure? No. I thought we would just cut it in half, carry it to the backyard, and just see what happens. Oh, you think I'm joking? No, that's literally Steve's answer.
That is the only plan that we have, is to get this boat cut in half.
I say I agree with Steve. Cut first, ask questions later.
Let's go over and put this thing in the backyard. Now we just got to figure out how we're going to get it back there.
Yep, now we just got to figure out how to get it back there. Now what could have helped with that?
Cut first, ask questions later.
Day 5 starts, and Kim has been working all night from day 4 to day 5 to get started on the painting of all the foam fixtures, from the shower to the tiki head and everywhere in the house that there's foam. And while that is an admirable move, remember, she's already overworked, so like, no offense to her painting, but it doesn't look good. And that's not a dig at the contractors, okay? I'm sure all of these people are very professional and good at what they do, provided they have a reasonable amount of time to do what they do. But they don't have that here, so I'm not going to judge their contracting skills. All I'm saying is I wouldn't add any of this to my portfolio. I wouldn't stick this on the website. I wouldn't tell anybody I was on this show until some random fuck on the internet makes a YouTube video about it 20 years later. That's me. We're on day 5, and at the beginning of the day, no project in the house is officially done. Little by little, all of the projects start getting finished, whether they look like it or not, and they never do. The terrarium, yeah, it's done. Don't mind that we're still peeling off the protective film and that it's completely empty. It's done. Hibachi grill, done. Sure, it might look like raw 2x4s hanging out of the ceiling, but it's functional, so it's done. Backyard, you done. Shower? You know, maybe we barricade the door and put up drywall to cover the door, and then we just gaslight the homeowners into thinking that this room never existed. But somehow, some way, against all odds, they get all of the projects done. There's only one thing standing in the way of victory, and it's the host of the show, Steve himself.
It's doing this to piss me off.
Finally just got back there and tweaked around with the valve a little bit to get a little more propane going through there.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Tiki God is about to spit fire. Don't look at me. I told you it was going to be ass. And if this fireplace isn't bad enough on its own, it's hooked up to a motion sensor. They hooked up a gas line to a motion sensor and somehow retained their contracting licenses after this. Now, they don't just hand the homeowners the home like this. Clearly, it's not done. There is a 6th day where, like, interior designers and stuff come in to do what they can with it.
Finally, it's time for Tyler and Emily.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to your monster house.
Oh my god.
The lips are smiling, but the eyes are screaming. It is painfully obvious that they absolutely hate every single thing that they're seeing right now. Kim is still throwing subtle jabs as she shows off the place to the homeowners.
Well, welcome to your living room.
Welcome to your new living room. What do you think? It's something, isn't it?
This is the most bitchin' shower in Los Angeles County right here.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Yeah, I don't have any jokes for this part. This bathroom just makes me angry. This design might have worked if they remodeled every element of the bathroom, but they just sprayed foam in the existing bathroom, so you still have the psych ward tiling in the shower. It just ends up looking like an infected area from The Last of Us. And they added moss. They added fake moss in the shower. Imagine like washing yourself and you have your eyes closed and you're like reaching around and you touch wet moss. How do you even go about cleaning this shower? Imagine what this is going to look like after years of use when like hard water stains are crusted up in all the crevices. Like, look at that sink. Dude, if this was my house, if this is what they handed to me, I would set fire to my home and attempt insurance fraud. You know what? I wouldn't even attempt it. I would just call them and just be straight up honest about it. Hi, I'm from your insurance company. What seems to be the problem? Just look. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What should I do? Oh, absolutely set fire to the place. Commit insurance fraud. Really? Yes, I'll help you. Should we go buy gasoline? No, we can just turn the fireplace on. I really have to hand it to the decorators for this next part because the backyard doesn't look that bad. Minus the fact that all of the concrete is gone and every time you step out of the pool, you'll be stepping directly into dirt and stones, but hey, practicality was never part of the deal. Oh, and look at that. No shipwreck in the pool as originally planned. Well, now how could that be? Was there no room for it?
I say I agree with Steve. Cut first, ask questions later.
All in all, this sure was an investment. Was it a good investment? Probably not. But an investment nonetheless. Oh, God. My fucking house. And that does it for episode 2 of Monster House. The builders want some tools. The homeowners will never sleep peacefully again. So all in all, a technically functional episode of early 2000s reality television. And look at that, you guys. We're at 250 subs already. That's awesome. I love that. Now, let's set a goal for ourselves. Let's get to 1,000. Okay, if you're watching this still, like, subscribe, comment, share. Help me out, because it's really motivating to see that growth, and it makes me want to create more content for you. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Thank you so much for your support. I can't wait to make more videos for you guys. I really am stoked about this, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.